I was I was just going to start off by saying good morning, but of course it isn't really, is it? Although in some countries, I think it's sort of after 12. It's after 12 at night, so that makes it morning, doesn't it? But anyway, good after good. Wait a minute, where am I? Good evening, everybody. Good evening from Florida, I should say. It is 7 o'clock, 7 p.m., and I've just been home for maybe not even an hour because I've been driving and took my daughter and grandson to the airport today. And that's a whole other story because this is, after all, story time. So I will be telling a story of some kind. I'm waiting to be inspired by Grey Eagle as to which story I'm going to tell you, but I have an idea of some kind. Before I begin with story time, first of all, I would like to say hello to my spirit guide, Grey Eagle, who is right by my right side. And Chris, good evening to you in, well, it isn't really sunny Vermont, is it? It's in Vermont. Let's do that.
The sun did come out today and it was nearing 70 degrees, so that's almost like summer for us.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Well, here in Florida, we have a bit of a storm going on. We've had some very high winds. In fact, I was not even certain I would make it back today to to do this show because because there were warnings crossing the Skyway Bridge. Be very careful. And I'm thinking, oh, please let me get over there before they close the bridge down. My daughter's plane was an hour and a half late. Um, all of those sorts of things have been happening today with the wind, the rain, the conditions, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so we're having a bit of a storm. So if we have glitches, if for any reason we shut down and you can't see me anymore, it's because we've got a storm going on. Not much of a storm, but she says it was pouring with rain, high winds, but that's about it. But it may well affect my internet at some point, so just be warned. Right. Chris, have we got, do we actually have anybody?
We do, and that's so great since you changed the time from your to now 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Philip's on, and he's saying good
Right.
morning from Australia.
Oh, there you are. You see, good morning, Philip. Of course, it's Sunday morning in Australia already. Who else have we got, Chris?
Frankie's saying hello from West Yorkshire. Did I say that right? England.
And it must be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's got to be midnight. Frankie, wow, aren't you ready to go to bed yet? I'm glad you stayed up to watch this show. And it's Yorkshire, not Yorkshire.
I knew I was going to do it the wrong way.
It was so funny. I was in where was I? I was somewhere. I can't remember if it was in a shop or a restaurant or something the other day. And it must have been a restaurant because somebody was saying, we make this sauce, so on and so forth, and I use Worcestershire sauce, and I always laugh. And those of you who are listening in England, you'll know we never say Worcestershire sauce, do we? It's Worcester sauce. But doesn't matter how many times you tell people in America, they read it as it's spelled, obviously. So Worcestershire. Anyway, so and the funny thing was that I was making my very, very, very delicious sauce that I always make if I'm going to have stone crab or something like that, and it needs Worcester sauce, as the Americans would say, Worcestershire. It needs Worcester sauce, and I forgot to buy some. So there am I telling everybody how to say it and forgetting to buy it. Anyway, Chris, who else have we got here?
Malia's on from Rome. Jeff
Hi,
is on
Leah.
from Maine.
Who?
Jeff is on from Maine.
Hi, Jeff.
Marzina is on from Warsaw, Poland.
Oh, great.
Junior's on from Glasgow.
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 I've got to teach you, really, I have. Hi, Junia, how are you?
Caddy's on from South Florida.
Oh, right.
Fernanda's on from London. Oh, and I guess Andrea's
From,
also on too from Maine.
oh, hi, Jeff. Hi, Andrea. Lovely that you're on. Is it better to come on at this time of night, or is it better to come on in the morning? Let's do a survey. If you think it's better for all of you that I'm on at night on the weekends rather than in the mornings at the weekend, please let us know. You can email me, Rosemary at rosemaryalte.com. I think. No, you can't.
Yes.
Oh, God. Yes, you can. Yes, Rosemary at rosemaryalte.com. Or better still, Chris, K-R-I-S, at rosemaryalte.com, because Chris is the one who earns us all the emails. So if you like this time slot better than the Saturday morning time slot, let us know. We're going to have lots of time for questions, but first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to LJ because I'm not sure if she can hear me. I'm not sure if Karen actually managed yet to get things up and running, but I love you, LJ, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon in my way. And so if anybody out there who would like to send healing to LJ, who is my friend and the friend of my the mother of my very good friend Karen, can you just sort of send out a little thought? You know, thoughts are living things. Just send out those little thoughts of healing to LJ, because she needs us right now. She needs us to help her on her journey. All right. So that said, let's see. Here's a story time, and I thought, okay, so let me see. I'm going to go back and forth between what happened today, what happened way back, and who knows where this story will end. But let's begin, as all good stories must begin, as you know. Once upon a time, this morning, I said to my daughter, okay, it's about an hour and 15 minutes from where I live to Tampa Airport. Let's go early and we can have lunch before you set off. Well, you know what they say about those best laid plans. Now, you would think, wouldn't you, that I would know better? You would think, well, I thought she was psychic. She should know these things. Well, you know, maybe I was psychic and knew these things because I said, let's go an hour or a little bit, an hour and 15 minutes to be precise, earlier than we would normally have set off if I was just taking her and dropping her off and letting her go get the flight. So off we travel, and 2.5 hours later, having navigated roadworks, traffic jams, traffic holdups, high winds, holdups here, roadworks there, it took literally twice the amount of time to get to the airport, by which time Samantha only had time to get the suitcases on, and then I had to say goodbye to my darlings because they went straight to the gate, and then and it was so sad. It was even sadder because I decided, I'm going to stay at the airport just in case something happens and there's a plane delay or something. I'm going to stay here till I know that she's boarding the plane. I must have had a premonition, don't you think? Because there she was. She texted me, then she videoed me, and then she said, okay, we're on the plane. So I'm thinking, okay, I can leave now. Then I get a text message when I'm on the road saying, we're delayed an hour and a half. All of this is we're talking about travel, aren't we? We're talking about traveling and how difficult it can sometimes be for us to travel. But what is the best ever journey that we can ever go on? And is there a delay? Or is it possible for there to be a delay in our traveling? And this is for my lovely LJ. Is it possible for us to have a delay when we are in that moment in our lives when we are going to be traveling from this world, our earth world, to the spirit world? And it's it's a strange thing because, you know, sometimes, especially if I've had a patient who's been sick and they say to me, how long now, Rosemary? When will it be? When will it be? When you know, what day, what time? Sometimes they ask that question because they're eager to get on with it. And sometimes they ask that question because, you know, they want to make sure that they have time to say goodbye to their family, or they want to make sure that they have time to get their, you know, everything in order. Um, Sometimes I'm able to help them by literally pinpointing both the day and the time of the beginning of their journey. And sometimes I'm, you know, I'm not sure. Sometimes it's not for me to tell them, even if I do know it's not for me to tell them. But unlike the airport story I just told you about, unlike the delays that we have, unlike the postponing of travel plans, and unlike things that don't always go to plan, there is one journey that we all must make at some point. And so this is sort of, it's a, I'm not sure if it's a story or if it's just talking about traveling. I could tell you, oh, so many stories of how I have sat by someone's bedside and watched them as they leave their body, as their spiritual body, the etheric body, the same shape, same size, same everything, the etheric body leaves the physical body. And I've been so privileged to be able to sit there and hold someone's hand as they are leaving, or let's say beginning the journey home, as we say. And I could tell you countless stories of how that happens, and how I've seen angels come, or how I've seen a tunnel opening up and my patient might say, pointing, Rosemary, can you see? Can you see? Can you see the tunnel? Sometimes they'll see the tunnel before I'll see the tunnel. That tunnel, that place, that road, that place where our journey begins. And you know, there are so many different stories, but what I thought today was talking about it to explain to all of you, to explain, because I know that my friend Karen is holding her mum's hand even as we speak. I know that LJ is about to begin the journey. Boy, oh boy, is she impatient. How much longer is it going to be? It's not that we don't want to leave our family, but if you are fully aware, fully comfortable that you're going on this journey, if you are fully you know, you've come to terms with the fact that, you know, this is the next stage of your life, that life doesn't end by any means, it just continues on. And if you are fully comfortable, as LJ is, with this next stage, with this next journey of life, and, you know, it's a bit like, okay, you know, pack my suitcase, all right, got everything in order, you know, all the papers are signed and everything, I've sorted things out the best I can, and okay, you know, okay, I'm ready, I'm ready. And I have a lovely friend of mine, Bob, and Bob was a patient of mine for quite a little while. He had a brain cancer, and the more he learned, when he first came to see me, he didn't believe in any of this. He thought I was a crazy person. But as we talked, and as he started to have his own experiences, and as he started to feel more comfortable with the idea of things, he began to get quite excited. And okay, so, you know, when am I getting on the train? He would say, you know, when am I going to get on the train? And one day I got a phone call from his wife. Bob's in the hospital and he's asking for you. And he's told me he doesn't want anybody else there. Where's Rosemary? She's got to be there when I get on the train. So I go to the hospital and there he is. He's laid in the bed. But he's so excited. It's like a boy about to sort of, you know, climb the mountain he's always wanted to climb, or he's so excited because he's going to have this wonderful new experience. And he looked at me and he said, okay, you know, I'm ready. So I said to him, you may be ready, or you may think you're ready, But obviously there are still some things we have yet to do, or the people you need to say goodbye to, whatever it is. Just because you're ready doesn't mean those in the spirit world are ready. And he said, "What you talking about?" And I said, "Well, it's a big thing. Then maybe they're planning a party for you, or maybe they feel that you've just got one or two things left to do, or one or two things left to say." So we laughed, we joked, we at some point, you'll think this is very weird. At some point, he had a bed with the sides were pulled up, and at some point he said to me, uh, you know, you've got to get in next to me. You've got to get closer to me. And he was still, even though he was getting drowsier and sleepier, he just was still excited because he felt absolutely that this was his time to go, and he just wanted me next to him to help him. So at some point in the early morning, I'm going to say about 6 o'clock in the morning, a nurse came in to see how we were all doing. Bob's wife was on the sofa behind the curtain. Bob's mother was sitting next to Bob's bed, holding his hand. And I was laid in bed with Bob. And the nurse was looking at us all thinking, what's going on? And I was my face was pressed up against the bars of the bed, sort of imprints of the bar. And it wasn't Bob's time, and I knew it wasn't his time, but it didn't matter how much I said to him. I think getting a bit too excited too soon, he just got it in his mind that he was just so eager to go and to have this new experience that he just wanted to get on with it really, really fast. Bob came out of the hospital a day later, and he went home, and within another week or so, we knew that it was Bob's time. Every night I would go about, every day I would go about what I was doing, and then sometime around 10 o'clock at night, his wife would leave the back door open for me, and she would be in bed, and he had a bed downstairs, and I would, at 10 o'clock at night, I would go in every single night. I would go in, I'd sit with him, and we'd talk, and he would ask me questions. He was still, believe it or not, so keen to get going. And he would say to me, "I just don't understand it, Rosemary. Why do I have to wait? Why am I waiting? What's going on? I'm ready. I'm ready." The one certain sure thing about the time of our passing, the time of our new journey, is there's never a delay. You go when it's your time, exactly on time. You go when the spirit world determines. There is a time and a day and a date for us to be born. As I explained to my daughter when she got really frustrated, and I actually did predict the exact moment, the exact day, time, even to the second of my grandson's birth. I'll tell you that story another time. But I also, I'm able sometimes to totally know, and sometimes not, the exact date, time to the second when somebody is going to pass. Whether I know or not is immaterial. It's that the spirit world know. And there is never a delay. Even though we might think it takes ages, there is never a delay. You always go when it's time. You're always born when it's time to be born, and you always, there's never a delay. You always have a time to begin that next journey. So I don't know where we went from. We went from the delays and the traffic and the traffic jams and all that stuff. We went to all of those things that we on this earth plane we have to go through, we have to deal with. And then we went from there to knowing that there is an exact time, an exact moment where your angels will come for you. They will lift you. They will lift you up. And if you're lucky, which most of us are, not only will your angels be lifting you, they will have help from your loved ones in the spirit world. And I know, LJ, that your husband is waiting for you on this. I know absolutely. And I know that for all of you out there who are about to embark on this new, uh, maybe somewhat nervous or frightening journey, please don't be frightened by it. It is beautiful, it is exciting, and it's so new. And you know, we get to meet whatever that is, that God force, that God light. We get to meet that. We get to go into that light. We get to come face to face with all of that beautiful and wonderful stuff that is out there for us and ready for our next stage in the journey. So, unlike today, with my delays going back and forth, and unlike today, my daughter sitting on a plane for another hour and 15 minutes or something, or an hour and a half, actually, delay, unlike what the things that we have to deal with on our travels and on our journey, our most important journey, aside from the one that we go on when we come here, and our lives and our living, which is a journey in itself for all of us, the next most important journey, the most beautiful and the most wonderful experience, there are never any delays. Just imagine that. Everything happens exactly as it is supposed to do. So, LJ, I wish you joy on your journey. And for all of you listening to this story time, hey, I hope you enjoyed the story. We went back and forth a little bit, but wouldn't it be nice to have some comments? Wouldn't it be nice to have some questions? Wouldn't it be nice to hear from all of you? I raced back here today in order to do this for you. So I'm asking you to do something for me. Come on, let's have some comments. Let's have some questions. Let's have some fun. And as it's story time, and as all good stories begin with once upon a time, they also end. The end. Chris.
That was very inspirational, Rosemary. I loved hearing that. Hey,
Okay.
Jillian's on. She says, hello and a virtual hug to you and Gray Eagle from
Oh, thank you.
Jillian and Abby in Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Abby, who is 10 years old, says, I really look up to you and thank you for doing live streams. I think what you do is really amazing.
Oh, Abby, thank you so much. You're 10 years old. My goodness, what are your interests? My grandson's 8 years old. We've had a blast. They've been here with me for almost 3 weeks and we've had a blast. We've been on the beaches, we've been swimming in the pool. We ate lobster the other day. Reese tried a lobster. He said that it's a bit too chewy. So he's not quite old enough yet. Abby, what are you doing? I know you don't have the beaches in Nova Scotia, and is it really, really cold out there? But let us know. What do you do? What do you love to do? Chris.
Philip says, there's no time in the spirit world just like Indian time.
Just like Indian time. Well, you know, time in the spirit world is of a completely different, you're right, Philip, it's of a completely different essence. It's a totally, you know, it's like, you know, a day here is less than a blink of an eye or less than a blink of a moment. But at the same time, you know, we perceive time. I mean, I think this is true of the spirit world as well. We perceive time differently. um, my grandson Reese said to me, I think it was yesterday, as we were walking along the beach, and he said, "It, Mosey, these last few days they seem to have gone so really, really fast." And Samantha said, "Well, I think they've gone really, really slowly." So we all perceive time differently, and perceiving time in the spirit world is very, very different too. So, Philip, thanks for that. Chris.
Martha says, I heard there is no time on the side. Does the spirit world still know?
I don't know what that means. Am I
I'm
missing
going to
something?
assume she means, I heard there is no time on the spirit world side.
Um, well, well, yes. I mean, yes. There has to be, because we sort of e- we equate. And I don't. I think it's just different. I'm not sure that there's a clock, for instance. I'm not sure there's. I definitely don't think there's a 12 or a 24-hour clock. Absolutely not. But there has to be some concept of things moving, things progressing. And I also know that when people in the spirit world, when they come, if they let's say someone has a consultation with me and they want to know, are they move? I'm just sort of doing this off the top of my head. They want to know, when will they move? Um, someone in the spirit world might someone in the spirit world might say, oh, very, very soon. Well, very soon to them could be 2 years away or 3 years away. Very soon to us is next week or next month. But there still is time. There still is this movement and progression and things happening that we can equate in some way to time, just not the 24-hour clock.
Fernanda says, "Good evening, Rosemary and Grey Eagle.
Hi.
Rosemary, do you have any advice about how we should pray to God? Are angels or our loved ones able to hear our thoughts? Thank you so much. Lots of love."
Oh, Fernando, absolutely. I love this. Love this question. I really do. I can honestly, hand on heart, say that I pray every day. Now, some people think that you need to get on your knees, put your hands together, or you need to go into a church, or you need to go into a holy place to pray. I actually think that prayer comes from our thoughts. Our thoughts are living things, our thoughts are energy. If I'm walking along the street, or if I'm in an airport, for instance, as happened today, and I see someone who's struggling a little bit. I saw an older man today who was, I think, a little bit disabled, and he was working. He was sweeping up in the airport, and you send out a thought, you send out to whatever, to God, to the universe, to that universal God force that is out there. Doesn't matter where you send it to, does it? But you send out that thought, and that thought to me is a prayer for someone. Or even if it's a prayer for you, even if I'm sending out a thought, don't let me be don't let me miss the don't let me miss the flight today. These things, these thoughts that come into your head, they are prayers. They are just as powerful and just as positive as kneeling down in front of a church and saying whatever it is people say. There are lots of people who think that a prayer should be like a in rote, like you know you go to some churches and they have a prayer book, and you open the prayer book on, you know, uh, Sunday the 22nd is this prayer, and Sunday the 20 whatever ninth is this prayer, and they have a prayer for every day, but it's written down for them. And some people, that works very well. For some people it does not work for me, because for me, when I'm praying, I'm actually talking, I'm sending out my thoughts, I'm sending out my healing, I'm sending out my energy, all of that. So however you feel comfortable with, Fernando, is the way to pray. But absolutely, your thoughts are living things, and even the tiniest thought that goes out, whether it's, whatever it is, and you send it out to God, or you send it out to that universal God force, or you send it out into the universe, and you keep your fingers crossed it's going to the right place. That to me counts as a prayer. So whatever is right for you, that's what you should do. Chris.
Abby responded to your question. She said, "I love swimming in all seasons, but in the summer, I especially love swimming at the beach, and I love everything to do with art and writing."
Oh, right. Oh, you would get on very well with my grandson, because my grandson is a super swimmer. He's like, really amazing swimmer. And he's just like a little dolphin. And he loves to draw. There's a program that he sometimes uses on his iPad, and I can't remember now what it is, but he gets it on YouTube. And it's a brilliant. There's this guy who shows you how to draw dogs and cats and whatever else you want to draw. I don't know if you use those programs, but Love to see some of your art sometime, Abby. That would be really great. Right, Chris.
Maggie says, you should
Hi,
be able
Maggie.
to go anywhere, any church, and talk to God. I like being outside with the wind and the sky to talk to God.
I talk I talk to God everywhere. I talk to God in the shower. I talk to God, talk to God in the park. Talk to God on the way driving to the airport. I mean, it's to me. I'm so familiar with God. I'm so familiar with that God force. I'm so familiar with, and I'm fortunate enough. I have Grey Eagle. I'm so familiar with putting out my thoughts and talking, whether I talk in my head or wherever it is. It doesn't matter. I think sometimes it would be fair for me to say that, to actually kneel down and bow my head and it's sort of send out a heartfelt prayer would be, certainly something that I would absolutely do. When my daughter was very ill, it's a funny thing, and I can tell you this is the truth. When my daughter was very ill and it was a little bit touch and go, I actually didn't pray at all. I sat by her bedside and I just knew that, sometimes, and it's a hard thing to do, but sometimes you just have to let go and let God. And so when my daughter was very sick, people said to me afterwards, "Did you pray?" "I bet you prayed." "Well, thank goodness your prayers are answered." And I actually didn't pray. I actually trusted. I'm not sure I did it consciously, but you know, in a way, my silence was also a prayer. Chris, have I lost you? Are you there?
Karen wanted me to let you know that she and LJ are with you listening.
Good, good. I know that.
Um,
And lots of love.
Caddy says there's a beauty in your words, knowing that when you go home, that it's absolutely your time. We often live with regret, thinking we could have done more to change our loved one's trajectory.
Uh, I love that thought, and I'm glad that you're with me on on the way that I feel. We can always do more, and we can always berate ourselves that we didn't do enough about things. But we can only do what we can do at the end of the day, and we just have to be. We have to be there for others when we can be. We have to be there for ourselves as well. So we do what we can do. I know that there are a lot of churches who think that God is a judgmental God. I don't think that at all. I think God accepts us for who we are and is joyful and grateful that we are who we are. Chris.
Frankie's asking a question. I am friends with a neighbor. Do you see if there will be anything romantic between us or just a friendship?
I think this question was asked before, so my answer still stands. But you have to wait and see. Chris.
All right. Give me a second. I'm getting past all the hellos and where they're froms. Robin had what I find a very interesting comment that made me smile. She said, "Oh my God, I've seen her in a hospital in Hackensack. I love her. She was with Tomorrow's Children Foundation."
Who is this?
Her name is Robin, so she must have been at one
Hi,
of those
Robin.
times at Tomorrow's Children.
Yes. Well, oh, wow. Well, yes, it's me. See? Didn't you expect it to be me? Um, uh, how did you enjoy, or is enjoy the right word? What was your experience? Can you let us know that? Can you write in right now and let us know your experience when you saw me at the Tomorrow's Children? Because I had some very blessed and very beautiful moments there. And the lady who used to invite me to go there, uh, uh, she actually passed, and then her daughter took over and asked me to go there. And I would love to go back to the Tomorrow's Children or any organisation like the Tomorrow's Children. It's a fantastic organisation, and yes, it is me, and I really was there. So, what was your experience, darling? Why were you there? And what, hey, come on, what did you? And you said you loved me. Can you tell us why? All right, Chris.
Andrea's hoping that you'll answer, what does my life path have for me?
No, I'm not going to answer that question. It's we've only got so much time on this show, and that's a question that requires a lengthy answer. So I'm going to leave it for now.
Marzina says, are my projects to empower humanity? Is it sufficient to help humanity with my inspiring written
I keep losing you,
expression,
Chris, with
or
your
do
inspired
also
what?
written
I keep
expression?
losing you. You keep cut.
I wonder
You
if
keep.
those,
I didn't hear what you said.
I wonder if it's those
You
storms
keep
coming in.
cutting out. Maybe you. She's asking about her life and what she's doing. Is it enough?
No, she's asking, it looks like she's a writer. Written expression or speaking the words in person online, should she do it online as well?
Absolutely. You should do it as much as you can. Spread it. Spread the word. Let people know what it is that you're wanting to say, my lovely.
Cindy says, hi,
Hi,
Rosemary.
Cindy.
I lost my niece and my sister this week due to COVID. We couldn't be together, but I feel my sister here today as I painted a picture for her, a song with her name on it. A song with her name came on. Thanks for bringing hope to people. I have a strong faith and know both of them are okay. I hope you are keeping well, Rosemary.
Darling, I'm so sorry for your loss. And you know as well as I do, I think that they are together and they are fine and no longer sick. But you also know that they are also very much with you too. And I think that when we know these things, and we talked earlier on, didn't we? In my story, I'm saying you can't go until it's your time. And it's very true. And even though we think, people die in car accidents, people die of COVID, people die of cancer, people die of all sorts of things. And we think to ourselves, or if only this or if only that. But you cannot go before your time. It's not possible to go before your time. And as much as this is it must be such a heart-wrenching time for you, the fact that they went together is also, I think it's really rather nice. I know you'll know what I mean. I know you'll know. And yes, they are both with you. Chris.
Milla says, Dear Rosemary, I would love to know if my grandparents have messages for me. Could you please try to talk to them? I would really love advice from them and to know if I will be able to change things.
Well, Miller, good morning. No, wait a minute. It's good evening here. Wait a minute. Yeah. Uh, um, we are doing in May, we are having a webinar which is about literally Greg Eagle and I giving messages. And we're also having well, is that May the 8th, I do believe. And, that's perhaps a really good place that you might want to try to connect. Of course, there are never any guarantees, but we have this show and it's a story time show, and we don't quite have the same amount of time to answer questions as we do on our Thursday show. Our Thursday morning shows at 11 a.m. So you may want to check out the website, rosemaryaltea.com, or one word, and check out the webinar, which is on the 8th of May. And for those of you also listening, you may want to check out the really, really exciting webinar when Grey Eagle, for only the second time ever, has publicly is going to be talking to us. He's going to use direct voice communication. which means you're going to hear directly from him. Usually when we hear from Grey Eagle, he whispers in my ear and I tell you what he's saying and so on, and that's how it works. With the spirit guide, that's mostly how it works. Direct voice is completely different. This is going to sound so weird to all of you, but what will happen is I shall move out of my body and he shall move into my body, and he'll use my voice box, and he'll use, whatever he needs to use, and he will be able to, through direct voice, he will be communicating with us. He will be helping us with so many life questions, so many life issues, COVID being just one of them. The way that we are as human beings, the way that we should live, the way that we perhaps need to connect with our own spiritual self more, or whatever it is he's going to be talking about, it's going to be phenomenal and amazing. Now, as I said, this is only the second time that he's done this, and Chris, I know that you were there when he did this for our Christmas show. It was an angel show, and Greg coming through to do this direct voice communication was quite a surprise. But can you just give some indication to people of what you found listening to him in that direct communication?
When I hear Grey Eagle speak through your voice box, I know there's a difference. It's not you pretending there's a voice. I can actually hear voice inflection different, cadence different. And I know it's Grey Eagle. But even as you get past that, what Grey Eagle says and how he says it actually reaches out and touches your heart. You are left transformed, touched in some way. I had tears just rolling down my face unbidden. So I can't say it.
As did all of the people who attended that webinar, I think. Because just to hear him and just to hear what he has to say and the way he says things and the way he talks, direct voice communication is extremely rare, and very often faked, I have to tell you, not by me. But for those of you who want to join in, and those of you who want to share, you can have your own opinions as we go through that webinar. But if you want a message here, and I do understand why you would like to connect with your grandparents, I do understand why you would want advice. I'm going to say, because we do, it's very limited the time we have on these shows. And if I gave you the time, I wouldn't be able to answer questions from other people. So we have to be very aware that there are lots of people with lots of questions. But if you would like an opportunity or a chance to do that, any of you who are listening, please check out my website, rosemaryaltea.com, or one word, and you'll see that on the 8th of May, we shall be doing giving messages from the spirit world. But please do understand, if you want to do that, you need to get a move on, because we are limiting tickets. So first come, first served is basically, how it is. Chris.
Julie from Australia says, I love this time I get to see you live. So there's your vote from Australia. They want you to come on
Julie.
at 7:00.
Hi, Julie. Well, we know we couldn't do it this morning because, as I said, we were on our way to the airport and getting, my daughter and my grandson, getting them on their way home. I've not had a few tears, but I will later on. I've not had time to have a few tears yet, but it's already quiet in the house and I already miss them so much. I shan't miss the laundry. and I've been doing an awful lot of cooking over the last 3 weeks, but that's okay. I don't mind that at all. But it's so maybe we'll do it twice a week. Who knows? Maybe we'll do one on a Saturday morning, because I know people love that. Maybe we'll do another one late at night. Chris, what do you think to that for an idea?
That works for me. The more chances we can get your message out there, I think is the best for everyone.
Okay, keep going. Do we have any more comments? Anything else going on out there?
Well, Robin responded to your question. Robin was with Tomorrow's Children. She said, that was a long, long time ago, and you brought my son through.
Oh, Robin. Oh, how nice. I thought this is one reason I asked you was because for those of you who don't know what the Tomorrow's Children organization is about, the Tomorrow's Children organization is um, it's an organization. It helps families who have children, whether it's a parents, siblings, but they deal with children who have uh, an incurable type of cancer, a particular type of cancer. And, you know, it was a joy to me. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? I'm talking to a whole group of parents in these sessions that I did with the Tomorrow's Children. So there's a whole group of parents, every one of which has lost a child, and every one of which has lost a child to a really horrendous disease. And for me to sit here and say, you know, being able to talk to those children, being able to bring those children to their parents, to give messages to their parents, truly was a joy to me, Robin. I hope, yes, it was a long time ago, but you know, I do hope that what your son was able to say to you, what we were able to give to you, I do hope that that has helped to sustain you in your grief and in your knowledge that he's safe, that he's well. I do hope that that has, you know, made a difference in your life, as you know, as I do with all of the children and all of the families and parents and families of the Tomorrow's Children that I was able to give messages to. Chris.
Robin recalls you calling her Robin Redbreast.
Oh, right. I don't think it was me calling you Robin Redbreast, Robin. I think it might be your son who was calling you Robin Redbreast. Well, that's
Is
go ahead.
Isabel says, "Hello, Rosemary from Belgium. I'm
Hi,
very
Isabel.
sad at this time in my life. I have a feeling I will never be happy for once in my life. I have been through so many bad things in my life. Will this ever change?"
Okay. Um, Isabel, lovely, lovely Isabel. It has to change with you. You know, we can choose, and I've had this conversation over the last 3 weeks with my grandson, who is 8 years old, and Um, you know, today we had a plan. We were going to go to a nice restaurant in the airport, which I always like to go to. We were going to have a lovely lunch. We were going to have a lovely ending to our fantastic time that we've had, and it didn't happen. And as we're driving there and getting close to the airport, Samantha said to me, "It looks like we can't have lunch, Mum." And I was so thrilled because my grandson said, "Yes, but we've had time in the car, Mosey." And you know, you can be down, despondent, and see the negatives in anything and everything that happens, or you can turn it around and see the positives. And Isabel, I know it isn't easy for you, my darling, and I'm not saying that it's easy, but sometimes we have to grit our teeth and we have to pull up our bootstraps and we have to just face the world no matter what. And if we can do that and still think positively, instead of going down that negative road and instead of being a victim, uh, you know, see yourself as you know, all of these fantastic lessons that you're learning. I know you don't want them. You know, God always gives us those lessons that we don't want. Who wants it? Who wants a nasty lesson? None of us do. But at the end of the day, it builds us spiritually, it makes us stronger. And I know, Isabel, that you are very strong because you've had to go through so much and you've had to suffer so much. But look what it's done for you. It's made you stronger, it's made you a better person. Hopefully, it's made you far more empathetic and far more sensitive to other people. So, you know, please look up the positive and please see the joy in the life that you have. And when you start to really work at that, really force yourself and grit your teeth to see that and to do that, you'll find that life will get better for you, I promise you. Chris.
Kelsey says, I recently lost my dad and my heart is broken. Any words
Oh,
of encouragement?
Kelsey, you know, to lose a parent is tough. To lose, especially to lose a parent, you're obviously close to your daddy. And Grey Eagle has got his hand on my shoulder, completely unexpected. Do you see how I just stopped there for a second? Completely unexpectedly, he has his hand on my shoulder. So here you go, Kelsey. Uh, so I'm hearing somewhere from the back here, and I think this is from your daddy. I'm fine. I'm well again. I can breathe again. Don't mourn for me. Um, Open your eyes and see the beauty in life, Kelsey, because according to Grey Eagle, that's what your dad taught you to do. He wants you to be you. He wants you to be proud of being you, and he wants you to see the beauty in who you are. So, an unexpected, but I hope a good message from your daddy. Chris.
Samantha is on. She says, Rosemary, I seen you 28 years ago in Australia.
Oh,
My daughter was missing. Someone has been charged, but her remains have never been found. Will I ever be able to bury her with dignity?
what is the name of this lady?
Samantha.
Samantha. I should have remembered, right?
I'm sorry,
Samantha.
Samantha. Sorry, Samantha.
Samantha. Okay, darling. Right. Um, Now this is not it's easy for me to say. I'm not sure it's going to be easy for you to hear, but it's coming with so much love. She is not in the ground. She is not where she was laid. She is with you. She is by your side. Um, and Grey Eagle tells me to tell you what a beautiful girl, what a full and a beautiful spirit this beautiful girl is. Um, I know that, you want to know where she's buried, but truthfully, you know, in the ground, wherever it is, near the water. I say that maybe one day you will find her? Can I say, does it does it truly matter to you if you understand that she honestly has survived death, and where she is right now is the most important thing? You can live your life always wondering and always wanting and always willing to have that last piece of the puzzle, but I feel that we're giving you this last piece of the puzzle, my darling, by saying, you want to know where your daughter is? She's right by your side. She's right with you. And she's, according to Grey Eagle, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful soul. She was taken because of her beauty, because of her joy, because of the way she is inside, and full of light and full of love. She is right by your side. Can you start, if you, it's so hard to say this to you, but uh, keeping my fingers crossed that you get something from this. If you can allow her to lighten your life, brighten your life, and to live within the light of her joy and her beauty and her beautiful soul, if you can do that, then everything else is secondary. Everything else, nothing else matters. Be joyful in her joy, be joyful in her beauty. Let her show you where she is, putting her arm around you, even as I'm speaking to you. And she's right there. Chris.
Lee says, so
Hi, Lee.
I have always felt a huge connection to Egypt, to the point I would create stone carvings when I was a child that
Oh,
could
right.
pass for something that actually came out of Egypt.
Right.
Give me one sec, I have to scroll down. How do I know or confirm that is a past life?
Um, it may not have anything to do with the past life at all. It may be that someone in your own family who had a fascination for Egypt has sort of shown this to you or impressed this upon you or gathered close to you when you were small. I mean, it could also be a place that you were in a previous life. Again, does it matter? I don't think it does. What I think, and I'm saying this to all of you who are so keen and so spending so much time looking at your past lives that you're forgetting the life that you're living right now. You're spending so much energy wondering who you were and who you have been, that you tend to sort of let slip the fact that you're in the here and now. Um, if you want to do with this, if you want to do something with this interest in Egypt, I suggest you start saving up and go and visit the place. It's an amazing place, an amazing place. I've been a couple of times, and just it's an incredible and an amazing place. It's also it's in so many ways an awful place. So much poverty, so much to see there, so much beauty, so much amazing stuff, but so much poverty also. But don't just keep investigating. But if I were you, I'd save up and go, because you never know. It might be that you're drawn there. You never know who you might meet. You might meet somebody on the journey there, or you might meet somebody. Go to an Egyptology class. Go to go, yeah, go discover, find out, meet other people, whether it's in person or online. Meet other people who have the same interests as you, because maybe this is just a way for you to find that other person that who you may have a connection to, a soul connection to. Right, go, Chris.
Barb says, Rosemary, I'm a little late coming into this video. Question: if we
Yes.
can't meet you in this life, can we meet you in Gray Eagle in the next, our spiritual world?
Me?
You, yes.
Okay, why can't you meet me in this life, Barb? What's the matter with you? Don't travel? Don't like to travel? Get on with it. I'm only in Florida, I don't know where you are, where you're calling from, but there are lots of opportunities for people to meet me. But yeah, I mean, it's like you look at somebody in history and you think, I wonder if it's ever going to be possible for me to meet that person or this person. And yes, there will be opportunities. Whether I can say, Barb, that you and I will meet in the spirit world, I don't know. I don't plan to go there anytime soon, just so you know. But why wait? What's the matter with you? Get saving your pennies. Get making your plans. I'm here, not going anywhere. Unless, of course, you're in some amazing place and you invite me. That's a whole other thing. Chris.
Robin continued with the Tomorrow's Children conversation. She said, I'm writing a book and our experience will be in it. I'm amazed that I've never seen you on Facebook. I'm so excited my signs are reaching me from above.
Oh, good. Well, I am on Facebook. Uh, I I mean, I'm also on Instagram, except we don't know how to get back on. Somebody hacked in, and if anybody out there knows how I can get back on Instagram, could you just please email the office, Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com, and help us out here, because we can't seem to find anybody who works for Instagram or has anything to do with Instagram who can help us out here. So I am on Facebook, I am on Twitter, I'm all over the place. But I'm glad you found me. And I would love if you could, what we're doing is we are asking people to, to write to us and tell us if they've had an experience with me, to write and tell us about that experience, so that we might read that story, out to other people and inspire other people. So I'm, and I want to read the book, by the way, when you've done with that too. Chris.
Well, Rosemary, we're right at time now.
Uh-oh. How are you feeling, Chris?
Do you feel like you want to do one or two more?
Yes.
Okay.
How about you? I
Yeah,
know you're not
I,
very well, so I'm
I,
not putting any pressure on you. You end it when you're ready.
I can stick with you for a little bit more.
Okay.
Fernanda wants to know if you prefer to live in Florida or the UK.
Oh gosh, well, I do love the beaches, and I do love the sunshine, and uh, my daughter lives in New York, so I'm not going to go back to the UK anytime soon. However, Fernando, I have to tell you that most of my really good, really long-term friends live in England, so it's always nice for me to go back there. Unfortunately, I was planning on going back there last year, and because of COVID, we had to postpone it. But I was there the year before. But I do really, really do miss my friends. But luckily, fortunately, we've got FaceTime, haven't we? And we've got Skype, we've got Zoom, we've got all these different things where we can actually connect with people. So, it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. But sometimes my British friends and we get together on a Saturday night for drinks, and they're on their FaceTime and I'm on mine, and we just sit and we hang out and we chat, and they'll have a drink and I'll have a drink, not necessarily alcoholic, but they'll have, we'll hang out and just chat, just as if we were just living next door to each other. So there are always ways to, to get, maybe not quite the same, but I tell you what I really miss about England is I miss my champagne Sundays. Yes, maybe I'll tell you about that another time. Chris.
Rob is on. He's saying, "Hi, Rosemary. I just wanted to say thanks a million for the love, prayers, and support you have given my sister Karen through these difficult times."
Oh, Rob, I was just telling Karen earlier on how much she was lucky to have you, and and how much she can rely on you. And I know that you're such a support to her, and I know that LJ is just thrilled to bits that you are supporting our lovely Karen. So, and thank you for saying thank you. You know I love you, right, Chris?
Jenny responded back. You gave a message about her daughter from Australia. She said, "Thank you so much, Rosemary. I needed that. My daughter's name is Prue. Lots of love."
Oh, thank you for sharing that with us too, my darling. I mean, it's such a hard thing, isn't it? What we have to go through sometimes, and when we lose a child, I think losing a child, certainly for me as a mother, has to be without a doubt the worst kind of loss ever. But to lose a child in such circumstances, darling, as you've had, has to be horrendous. And I just, I just want you to know you don't need to keep looking for her, because, every time you turn your head, she's right there. She's found you. You just need to stop for a minute and understand that she's right by you, right next to you. Yes, Chris.
Kelsey wants to know, do you do private readings? How do we sign up for those if you offer them?
I do. I'm very expensive though, Kelsey. we, we had somebody the other day say, "What? How much?" I'm, you know, yes, I do private consultations. It is a consultation. It's not, like a quick thing. I tell people that my private consultations last around 50 minutes, but I've never done a 50-minute consultation in my life. They're usually between an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes some of you who know me and have had a consultation with me are laughing. Yes, think yourselves lucky that it was got more than an hour and a half. But I do private consultations, and we have two different types of consultations. Chris, do you want to just explain those?
Rosemary has a yeah, I can talk. Um,
Oh, let
consultation.
me do it. No,
Yeah.
no, let me do it. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
forgot. It's hard for you. So we have what we call a spiritual consultation, which is when, if you would like to talk to someone in the spirit world and connect specific with somebody in the spirit world, and you have questions for them, or you're looking for help and guidance from them, that's what we do. But we also offer what we call life, I don't quite know what the term is that we
Force,
use, but
life force.
life force consultations, which basically means, you know, you don't necessarily need to talk to someone in the spirit world. You just need help and guidance, perhaps from Grey Eagle, help and guidance from, you know, some higher power, that higher force, where you just need to know where your life is going or what your life purpose is or whatever. You can combine the two consultations also, but there are two different kinds. And yes, we do them. And if you go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com, click on it and you'll find it there. And if you're also interested in consultation, again, I'm going to mention on the 8th of May, we are doing our, you know, it's going to be a couple of hours and I'm going to be giving messages. And, you know, Grey Eagle is obviously going to be there helping me, giving messages to many of you who sign up for that webinar. We're going to be also discussing, you know, why what is it about messages? Why do we need messages from our loved ones? Who knows what's going to happen, but we are definitely going to be giving messages, which, you know, I was not sure about doing, but because of COVID and because people have difficulties sometimes, you know, getting to come and see someone like myself, I thought we'd give it a go, give it a shot, and I've done it. It works, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Chris.
Well,
I've lost you. You keep tinging off.
I think we're going to end it right there, Rosemary.
Yeah.
The internet
Okay,
seems.
so this is what we're going to be doing now. We're going to be saying goodbye because I've not eaten yet, and it's, I don't know what the time is, but it's well after 8 o'clock my time at night, and I'm hungry and I've hardly had anything to eat. And oh, yeah, poor me. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm going to be eating, but we shall be back next Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you in England who are trying to work it out, that's 6 o'clock. No, it isn't 11, 12. That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. And we should be back next Saturday morning with our story time. And you never know, keep watching us, because in the month of May, it is 25 years, Robin, 25 years since The Eagle and the Rose was published. And through the month of May, the Eagle and the Rose was published. Its official publishing date was May 19th, my birthday. And so throughout the month of May, we're going to be doing all sorts of things. You're going to be seeing me popping up here, there, and everywhere. On Mondays, we're going to have a whatever that is. I can never remember it. What is it?
Motivational Monday.
Motivational Monday. I'm going to be doing stuff on Facebook and through Restream, so YouTube and all of that. We're going to be doing Motivational Mondays on every Monday throughout May. We're going to be doing Healing Wednesday, where I'm going to be giving healing and helping you all to understand more about healing. And I'm going to be helping you to figure out, you know, what different colors mean and what different kinds of energy we can visualize using color energy. And then I'm going to be popping up. I'm going to be in the kitchen a few times, I'm sure. What would you like to see me making? Would you like to see me making my hobnobs, which are absolutely fantastic? Would you like to see me making my chocolate shortbread? Also fantastic. Or would you like me to see me making something else? Why don't you write in? Why don't you email me and let me know? If you're going to be in the kitchen, Rosemary, can you show me how to make Yorkshire puddings? This morning I made Scotch pancakes for my grandson. Samantha and I ate 3 apiece. I can't tell you, bang goes the diet. So we're going to be popping in and out. So whether it's in the kitchen, or whether it's inspirational, or whether I'm just walking along the beach and I decide, hey, why don't I have company? Let me go on, you know, there and invite you all to walk along the beach with me. You never know what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be doing a lot to celebrate the 25th anniversary of The Eagle and the Rose, which was my first book, a New York Times bestseller. And still after 25 years, people are just discovering it. Still after 25 years, people are still reading it. People have read it before, are getting it out, blowing off the dust and reading it again. So we're going to be having a fantastic month of May, which is why we're doing the 2 webinars, and for the 25th anniversary, which will be on it'll be the 22nd, we are going to be doing our direct voice communication with Greg. We're going to hopefully be hearing what he thinks about the Eagle and the Rose. We're going to be hearing, oh yes, there's a new book coming. Oh, did I forget to tell you that? Yes, I did, didn't I? There's a new book coming. It's called Great Eagle Speaks. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you got to know him a little bit before the book came out, so you could understand where he's coming from and what he's talking about and who actually he really is. Wow. So all of that happening in May. Keep if you want to have more information, if you want to be on my mailing list, I promise you we only send out 2 or 3 emails a month, no more. We will not inundate you, but if you go to the website rosemaryaltea.com and click on subscribe, that'll do it, and it'll get you right there. It doesn't cost you anything, and we'll just put you on the mailing list and we'll send you a newsletter once a month. How about that? So if you want to know more about me, again, Chris, Kris, at rosemaryaltea.com. Our website is rosemaryaltea.com. Our month of Monday with all sorts of things you'll find out if you go to the website, rosemaryaltea.com, all one word, until we meet again. Until I see you next time around. Please, everyone, have a very blessed rest of the night or morning or whatever it is. Have a very blessed weekend, everybody. And I'll see you again. Hopefully, I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.